self-management. So it's one thing to say, yeah, we want them to self-manage, but now we can't assume they're just going to do it. There's
Right,
things that you
exactly.
have to do to be able to teach them how to take on this. So there's usually at least 3 steps in this process where you're teaching them how to self-record, to self-evaluate, and self-reinforce. The
Mm-hmm.
first one is very, very important. It's this rationale thing. Like I could sit there and
Uh-huh.
say, "You need to clean up your room. You need to," or you could, or
Right.
whoever.
It's
But
it's
why?
the proverbial why.
But why? And you know what? It's one of those times when you actually, as a parent, step back and say, "Well, you tell me why.
Yeah.
Why is this important? What makes this important?" And sometimes natural things will happen that will make a student go, "Oh, that's what she was trying to say by."
Mm-hmm.
And so getting them to the point where they're actually the ones answering the why instead of you, because that again is making them take
It's
ownership of,
reinforcing and yeah,
yeah, you want to be
building
able
it
to go to
into
the
them.
mall. Okay, well, if you want to go to the mall, here's the steps for going to the mall. That's why I gave you that planning, the trip planning chart that's farther on down.
Yeah.
Why do we want to learn how to do all these things? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had a girl who planned this whole trip. She was actually in her early 20s, but her parents assumed that she had this stuff figured out. She gets to a stopping point. The people where she's going don't know when she's supposed to arrive. She gets to a certain stopping point and discovers that the bus that she thought was there, the last bus had left 10 minutes before. So she actually couldn't make the connection
Oh
another hour and a
no.
half away to get where she was headed. So she ended up having to call Sally, Susie, Betsy. It
Mm,
was a mess for a little bit because they didn't know where she was.
right.
So we
Yep.
don't want to make these assumptions. We want to teach them ahead of time how to get where they're going.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and modeling, yeah. And modeling it
Mm-hmm.
as you go. Like I think you were talking about taking, was it you that said that? Maybe I was talking to a parent this week about taking their child out and actually showing them in the grocery store and helping them do the grocery shopping or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's well. And my kids right now, I'm they're cooking. I'm giving
Yeah.
cooking lessons because I can't lift anything after my surgery. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's how I'm modeling for them. I mean, they've seen me cook and they know how to cook a few things, but they're learning a lot right now because out of necessity, if they want what they want for dinner, they have to be my hands.
Right. Right.
So that's important. But yep, that's another way. And yeah,
So that's
usually.
the 4 minute mark. That my little alarm just thing went off.
Ah, yes.
So if we were teaching in a class, then and a bunch of people were watching us, I would say, okay, were you paying attention, or did you look to your phone, or did you go off and do something else? What's your attention look like at this point?
Right. Yep.
So that's kind of an example of the cueing strategy, where you're learning
That's
or
great.
observing the observing
Yeah.
strategy. You're learning how to track how much time you're spending here or there, or whether you're paying attention or not. You can
Hmm.
pick a little timer like that for an hour and discover, wow, I'm really spending too much time over here and not enough time over there.
I can see that being really helpful. You know, we have those students that tend to get very distracted, and you'll get up from the table just to do. As a homeschooler, we have things around us, not like a classroom where you can shut things out. You know, you have another child that needs to be dealt with, and you leave for a second, and you come back, and they're not even at the math table. You know, the table doing
Right.
math where you left them, and
Right.
so having that timer is kind of that secondary. Oh, are we on track? Are we doing what we? That would be a really
And
good
when
strategy.
when you do this, you're presenting it in a fun way. It's like, hey, let's just have fun for the next hour. We're going to just
Mm-hmm.
do our routine and let's see how much we stay on task this hour, and or how we
Mm-hmm.
get distracted. And we'll just set the timer. It's going to go off every four
Right,
minutes,
it's
and
a
at that 4 minute
discovery.
mark, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a fun little discovery thing. So they
Yeah,
learn to observe, and then from there you go, what can we change or do differently, and
right.
teach them how to evaluate their time.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So that's just some examples of how you do that.